Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Cinderella 2015 Disney film review. Now, as you know, the 2015 Disney film of Cinderella was meant to be a romantic fantasy film that is meant to kind of be an adaptation closely of its animated counterpart with a few differences. In this one, it's pretty much based on the old story, while adding in some elements of Disney, but making it its own. So, the premise of the film is meant to be about Ella living with her parents, and throughout the film, we see how Ella is happy in her life. She's basically got her loving parents, and I think what this one does well at than the Disney one is that you get more time to know them. You have more time to see the mother be there for the daughter, but after she dies, we see how Cinderella's father remarries to the stepmother. Now, the stepmother in this one, I would say, is a sympathetic character, but at the same time, it's kind of clear she doesn't really care about Cinderella. And you can kind of tell there are moments where she did wanted to do the right thing, but felt like she was more of a replacement. And I feel like when you kind of got the two stepsisters in this one, Drizella and Anastasia, they actually act like the actual ones from the fairy tale book. And I think at the same time, they really do nail it well. And I think throughout the film, after Cinderella's father's death, we see how Ella goes through hardship, like trying to keep the family house together by tidying up, basically doing the best she can, and still taking her stepmother's crap like a trooper. And of course, I would say with the film itself has a bit of a message about basically soldiering on from your pain and focusing on what you want and moving on to the future. And I think what the film gets well at, we have more time for Ella to get to know Prince Charming. We basically see them basically getting to know each other before the ball, which actually does work. And I feel not adding in the mice and Lucifer as main things definitely works, because I felt with the Disney one back in the 1951 was that it was trying to be a bit more cartoony with the mice and the cat, and I think this one they do a bit better. And yeah, you don't have the dog or the horse from the animated one, so you can tell they have to change it to a geese and some lizards to sort of be the part. And I also do think what the film gets right at, it actually has the Grand Duke playing a kind of villainous role. And I always felt the Grand Duke in the 1951 was a bit of a suck-up. He was always trying to please people for his own pleasure. And I think having Norso Anstey playing the captain does work, as he's meant to have the role of the Grand Duke, but less of a suck-up. And I would say that, as well, I feel what the film gets right at is that it has a moment where Cinderella actually calls out her stepmother for her cruel, selfish, and narcissistic behavior. And this one, they actually do it better, because imagine being treated poorly by someone at your workplace, or in the family, or being seen as the outcast, and you basically call them out on it. You can kind of tell the stepmother wants to admit it, but doesn't want to. And one, that's a realistic thing, because sometimes there are people who are jealous of you. There are people who feel like an outsider themselves, or don't want to admit their own screw-ups. And I would say, to me at least, this version of Cinderella does a better job, because we have more time to get to know Cinderella's parents. We actually get to know, basically, see a bit more with the stepmother, and trying to show her, trying to believe she's in the right when she isn't. And I know that this would later spawn other live-action Disney films based on other animated properties, like Aladdin, The Lion King, Mulan, Beauty and the Beast, and so forth. And I still want to see that live-action film of Atlantis the Lost Empire. To me, this film definitely deserves 2 thumbs ups. I think one of the better, more realistic, and keeping close to the fairy tale book. So, to me, it's the best one. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.